Well, it's hard to believe because I think it probably would mean the end of their career. This is a Democrat trap. It's a trap for Republicans that would be so stupid, so foolish to sign a bill like this. This bill can't be signed. And it's not only that, it's massive amounts of money going out of town, as we say, going out of town, billions and billions and billions of dollars. And it's so bad on the border. I've never seen anything like it. Actually, it's one of the worst, one of the dumbest bills I've ever seen.
The Senate border bill teeters on the brink of collapse. That's the headline from Politico this morning. We got breaking news from Capitol Hill. You won't believe what even the bill's sponsor is now saying about it, as more and more pundits recognize that this border bill is indeed destined for defeat. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot professor, here to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. The other thing you got to do is click on that link below and get yourself some free silver. How does that sound? Well, as many of you know, if you're regular to this channel, I am a huge champion of gold and silver. It's been said that if you want to protect your savings, you can't do better than investing in precious metals. And it looks like President Trump is thinking the same way. You may have heard about the dire warning he gave regarding the future of the U.S. dollar. I mean, this is Trump, gang. He's predicting that we may indeed lose our status as the world's reserve currency in the not-so-distant future, which could adversely impact your retirement savings and your quality of life. So that's why you should take Trump's warning seriously by clicking on that link below or go to turleywarning.com right now, because there you'll see what thousands of patriots are doing right now to help protect their savings before it's too late. Plus, when you click on that link, you even see how you can get up to $10,000 in free silver to protect your savings. But don't wait. We may not have long if Trump's prophecy comes true. So hurry up, click on that link below, or go to turleywarning.com right now. I remember many moons ago when the Clinton healthcare bill was all the rave on Capitol Hill. You remember that back in the early 90s, Hillary Care? And the Republicans, particularly Senate Republicans, they all organized, they banded together, and they ended up absolutely crushing the bill, to the shock of the legacy media, who at the time thought Hillary Care was just going to pass easily because they were so in love with Bill Clinton. And I remember Senator Phil Gramm getting in front of the cameras, and he announced to the shocked faces of the legacy media, he said, "The only difference between this bill and Elvis is that some people still think that Elvis is alive." And that, my friends, is what came to mind when reports came out from the wee hours on Capitol Hill that this border bill, this bill that would effectively legalize illegal immigration, is officially dead. Within just 24 hours of the bills being released, the supposed bipartisan coalition that was originally behind this bill is collapsing right before our very eyes. Here's Speaker Mike Johnson confirming to Laura Ingraham last night that the bill is indeed DOA in the House.
We did read through it, Laura, and it did not take long to realize that this is dead on arrival. There's no way we could bring this through the House. The Senate expects us to pass a bill, a piece of legislation that you just did a great job dismantling here. What it would do is actually further incentivize illegal immigration. It would not resolve any of the problems, not reform in any meaningful way the broken asylum system, the broken parole process, and all the things that have created this catastrophe. And by the way, meanwhile, it further empowers the very cabinet secretary who designed and created this mess. They don't follow federal law. Why would we do this anyway? But the bill itself would actually do more harm than good, and that's why we've said it's a non-starter over here in the House.
Great point he brings up there. That's a great point. Why the freak would we be passing more laws for a Homeland Security Secretary who doesn't obey and enforce the freaking laws we already have? What a great question to ask those woke lunatics in our legacy media who are doing everything they possibly can to salvage the sinking ship here. What good is it to pass new laws when the current Homeland Security Secretary, Mayorkas, refuses to enforce the laws that are already in place? He's getting impeached over it. This is the utter absurdity of D.C. It's become literally a theater of the absurd. And now, you ready for this? That absurdity has reached new levels. Check this out. Things are so bad. Support for this sham border bill is unraveling so fast that now, I kid you not, even Mitch McConnell, the mentally declining pro-amnesty turtle, that's what Don Jr. calls him, this mentally declining pro-amnesty turtle, Mitch McConnell, is coming out against the bill. You can't make this shit up. Again, this is just beyond a clown show at this point. It's being widely reported that McConnell recommended to GOP senators behind closed doors that they actually block the border bill. This coming from multiple sources. He recommended they block the bill because it's increasingly clear that most Republicans are prepared to vote no, either because they oppose the bill or they want more time. I mean, we got that early on from Lindsey Graham. He said yesterday that the bill won't even make it to the scheduled vote on Wednesday. It's an abject disaster. Everyone knows it. And it's a bill, if you can believe it, that's now being rejected by virtually every single Republican senator, including, again, if you can believe it, including the very Republican senator who sponsored it. Senator James Lankford of Oklahoma is now refusing to say whether he will even vote to pass his own bill. If that isn't a legislative collapse, I honestly don't know what is. When the sponsor of the bill, the now disgraced sponsor of the bill, distances himself from it, you can be sure the thing is toast. And we know why Lankford, like virtually all other Republicans, we know why he's distancing himself from it. It's because calls for his resignation are flooding the airwaves, as it were. Oklahoma Republicans are livid over this guy, as we reported yesterday in our video. So here's where we stand. As we speak, this bill is basically dead. It is on the brink of total collapse. It will not advance this week. It most likely won't even come up for a vote on Wednesday as scheduled. And again, we now have reports that even Lankford, the bill's sponsor, will vote to filibuster it. The bill needs 60 votes to pass. And it doesn't look like it's going to get anywhere near that number at this point, nor should it. The Federalist has a really great piece out this morning on just how utterly absurd this bill is. It highlights three things that automatically disqualify this bill from even remotely being taken seriously. First and foremost, the bill actually allows 8,500 illegal migrants to cross the border every single day. There are actually two provisions there. There's some confusion. It's not hard. It's either 8,500 illegal crossings in a single day or 5,000 a day for an entire week. It's either one of those things. And only then can the border get shut down. So even before a supposed shutdown, the bill allows for nearly 2 million illegal entries a year, either 8,500 a day or 5,000 a day for a week. 2 million illegal entries a year are essentially legalized. That's first. Secondly, as it turns out, the actual border shutdown doesn't get activated unless Mayorkas, the feckless Secretary of Homeland Security, says so. In other words, there's no automatic trigger to shutting down the border. It's the Homeland Security Secretary's sole discretion to do so, which he already has and refuses to enforce. Biden Mayorkas could shut this thing down right now, this very second, but they refuse to do so. This bill continues to grant them the discretion of deciding to close the border or not. And then finally, and this is the most pernicious of it, the bill gives the utterly feckless Mayorkas and asylum officers the unilateral authority to directly grant asylum to illegals without congressional approval. I mean, the bill purportedly would give ultra-leftist asylum officers direct authority to unilaterally grant amnesty to these illegal migrants. I mean, it's an absolute piece of crap legislation. It's not even worth the price of the paper it's printed on. And the good news is that as things stand, this thing, thankfully, will never, ever see the light of day. As many of you know, we have unfortunately been completely and totally demonetized, which is putting our daily communication with one another at risk like never before. Now, we are actively working on getting this resolved, but as things stand, This channel has, without any warning, been totally and completely demonetized. And as Elon Musk said so powerfully last week, the whole point of these demonetization efforts is to deliberately try to make us patriots feel like we're all alone. They want to sever our relationship with each other and force on us a kind of digital solitary confinement so as to demoralize us and discourage us like never before. But to their horror, it's not working. Over this past week, you have carried this channel like never before. We've had more people than ever make the courageous decision to bypass big tech and join our Insiders Club. We have direct access to one another that can never be interrupted by big tech overlords. Over the last 7 days, we've seen literally thousands of you come to our rescue. And you've done it in two ways. You've signed up for our free newsletter and you've officially joined our Insiders Club. Those two acts alone are enough for us to collectively stand together and never, ever have our relationship severed. So I'm inviting the rest of you to do the same today, just by clicking on that link below and signing up for our newsletter and joining our Insiders Club. You are guaranteeing that there is nothing that big tech can do to get between us and make us feel like we're in a digital solitary confinement. It's as simple as clicking on the link below right now and opting into our free email newsletter. And once you do that, you can financially support us by joining our Insiders Club. Gang, from the bottom of my heart, I cannot thank you enough for your support during a time like this. You are my heroes, and it will be my mission to express my appreciation for every single one of you each and every week.